एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भयो निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरप्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भयो निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरप्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भयो निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरप्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भयो निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरप्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भयो निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरप्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भयो निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरप्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भयो निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरप्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Thank you to everyone that's come today. So quick recap from last week, doing Saki time. Baji brought Saki for us by Somaji, which was beautiful Saki during Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj and Jokti Padshai, and we learned quite a lot there. And it's funny that someone sent the same Saki in the group after that. So this week, he said he will bring the Saki for us today. So I'm going to hand it over to him, and then we will go through Guru Nanak Dev Maharaj Jivan. We'll take our teachings from there today, and yeah, when we get started on that bit, I just want to go over something with you guys first before we start it. The mindset, mentality you should have when we're listening to the Katha. I'm going to pass it over to Sai Singh now, so we can go through that, and also we'll discuss what teaching we can take away from that Saki as well. And then at the end we can have a Q&A. If anyone's got any questions in their mind, we can discuss that. If it's the mind with Swal Hega, then we will discussion we got started. So why don't you say so for Saki time, for people that might be listening at home or even after, we're going to be doing Saki time where a member of the Sangat has come and we brought a Saki to share with the whole Sangat so we can discuss it. So I'm going to pass it over to Sahib Singh for today. So who's the Saki about? What's the Saki about? Translate it loud so everyone can hear. Yeah, because everyone can hear the boy downstairs. Yeah. So, yeah. Jeff. Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
There was a good Sikh of the third Guru, Guru Amar Das Ji, called Bhai Saruman Ji. So one day Guru Amar Das Ji called Bhai Saruman Ji and told them to go and get some firewood from the nearby city. They told them to chuck the firewood into the river so it can reach the villages that needed it. When Bhai Saruman Ji was about to leave, their mother went to Guruji and said that they had faith in what you say, but since they are mother, they were worried about their son because where he was going to go there was black magic and other bad things. Guruji replied the city they went to had said that everybody has to keep a fast until the sunset. But since Baisar Manji was sick, they made Bashada, fed it to all those poor people that were hungry and ate Bashada themselves. Within a few hours, the word spread to the king, and the king was furious that he didn't follow his command. So the king arrested Baisar Manji and threw them in prison. After sunset, the king's son ate something that made him very ill. Everyone was all of a sudden in a state of sorrow, and the prince, the only heir to the throne, was so ill that he was about to die. Baisar Manji asked that a few hours ago everyone was happy celebrating the festival, and now everyone is sad. The gods told them that the prince is about to die because of something they ate. Baisabji said that they have a guru that can save the prince's life. The gods took them to the king and told them about Guru Amardas Ji. The king said that if your guru is so great, then why don't you do Ardas to them and make the sun better? Then Baisar Manji recited the Tisada Part, did Ardas, and wiped the mal on the prince's face. In a few seconds, the prince started to breathe again and opened his eyes and then got up. Everyone fell at the feet of Baisabji and started to say that they brought the prince back to life. Baisabji was about to tell them that it was Guru Sahib's kripa, not theirs, but after seeing the king falling at their feet, he said nothing. They started to get more and more egoistic, and they themselves started to believe that they did the miracle. They forgot to go back to Gowandwal Sahib, and soon they became the main spiritual person of the city. People would ask them to do Adasa and it would come true, but soon the opposite of what they said happened. The people of the city started saying that they were useless. Baisabji realized that the dynasty is going to happen and quickly ran out of the city to Gowandwal Sahib. When reaching Gowandwal Sahib, they asked for Maafi from Guruji, and Guruji said that never think that you're more powerful than God, and when they think that they are as powerful as them, Satya Pacha destroys them as well. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Well done, Paul. Really good. That was a brilliant Saki. What did you learn from it? What did you learn? So not doing Hankar, है ना? Hankar करना like by Saman Manji, he got Hankar after he started making he made the prince better, and then whenever anyone would ask him to do anything, they would do it, right? It was all Guru Sahib together, but they started getting Hankar, है ना? So it failed be. So I always like to look at it from this point of view, na? By Saman Manji got 60 Guru Sahib, right? And they had this. Guru Sahib blessed them with this ability that gave them that Ramal, and with that Ramal they had certain powers. Now, if you can imagine yourself in that position, even for a second, yeah, that if you had the ability to make someone come back to life, then getting Hangar to an extent is understandable, right? Right? But then look at your own lives after Jeevan Vijay, when we get Hangar for no reason whatsoever. And all of it, like, that doesn't make sense. And what you get Hankar of? What, because you've done a little bit extra part, or you've got Amartullah a little bit earlier one day, Amartullah both, you start getting Hankar about stuff like that. But yeah, but still, it goes to show that how bad Hankar is, have you learned anything else from that? Or anyone else? Jump in if you, whatever you've learned, whatever stood out for you from that stuff. Staying in Guru Sahib's Hukam, yeah, that's a brilliant one as well. That's really good. Yeah, staying in Guru Sahib's Hukam, it's easier said than done though. If we be honest, he कहता दंदे हैं कि मारे दा हुक्म मन्नो, मारे दे पानी में रहो. ये सौखा कहना सौखा है, पर कमाना औखा है. It's hard to do, है ना. But those that have done it, उन्होंने फिर it speaks for itself, है ना. Their जीवन does, है ना. Anyone else? For me, it was Japji Sahib Dabbar. So when they asked Baisan Malji to do an ardas to their guru to bring the prince back to life or to make him better, Bhai Sahib did Japji Sahib first and then did the ardas to Maharaj, right? This is the Maryada for in Sikhi, for Gursikhs. If there's a Karaj, any karaj. It could be good, it could be bad. If you're stuck in a problem, or even for a happy occasion, that's the Maryada of Gursikhs in Sikhi is you always do Japji Sahib the part first and then do Ardas to Maharaj. And then either ask for help or thank Maharaj for whatever the situation is. Right? You always do that. And then Maharaj get really happy. We also make Deg as well. Deg banake, Maharaj get even more happier if you do that. Huh? So just a small example is what one of my good friends brought a house recently, and it's being renovated like big time. It's like everything needs to be done in it. But they need to move from the current house that they're renting in because the contract's finishing. So she's a bit of a dilemma. She goes, don't know what to do because we don't want to live in that house until Guru Sahib Ji bless it. Maybe I would, that's a really good soch. We don't want to live in the house until Maharaj blesses. Therefore, we're stuck in a situation. We have to leave this house. We can't live in. What we're thinking of doing is at least just getting one room half decently done. Ek kamra taiyar karke, bathroom, kitchen, and that's it. We can carry on working on the house, holi, you know. But then, and then I asked like Gursikh, and then they said, make day, do Japji Sahib the part, and then do Ardas to Maharaj. Thank Maharaj that Maharaj that they brought a new house. Until the house gets made that's more suitable for you to come into the house, and please accept this Japji Sahib the part. But it is Maryada for Gursikhs. Anyone else? Did anything else stick out for anyone else at all? It's a brilliant Sakhi. I told you, maybe remember, listening to ages ago this Sakhi. But yeah, so not to do Hankar, always listen to Guru Sahib Ji and Japji Sahib, that is Maryada. Like we can take them teachings away from the Sakhi today and apply it into our lives as much as we can. Yeah. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for bringing the Sakhi and presenting it in a brilliant way. So for Sakhi time next week, who would like to volunteer? You did it. You want to do it again? Does anyone else want to do it? Does anyone else want to bring the Sakhi at all? Even though it's an emergency situation. Huh? No. Does anyone else want it? No? You want to do it? Yeah? You bring it. Okay. This time you can bring it then. And then, yeah. So, guys, the kids are stepping up now. Everyone else, all the Sianis, you don't need to step up as well, because that inspiration. Or we get inspired from the kids as well. But so Taj Singh will bring it for us next week. And he'll present the Sakhi for us next week, yeah? So let's continue with Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Jivan, and we'll see what Maharaj is going to teach us today, right? So one thing when I was listening to the Katha, we were at a point where when Maharaj is speaking, by Balaji with Maharaj, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj are speaking to Bhagat Prahlad Ji, right? When Bhagat Prahlad Ji are telling us, their story, I want you guys to think of it this way there, that what I'm about to go through, Bhagat Prahlad Ji are talking to all of us. They're talking to each and every one of us. Individually, on an individual basis. Just imagine that Bhagat Prahlad Ji are talking to you guys. Yeah? Don't think that Bhagat Prahlad Ji are talking to Balaji or Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, because they're a Mahaprabhu, they're a Bhagat, and they're going to give an Upadesh Dena. Quite often, like we've talked about how important Mahaprabhus are in Sikhi, right? How important Mahaprabhus are in your Jivan, to bring Mahaprabhus into your Jivan, right? That's really important in Sikhi. And then I've had this question quite a few times, that how do we know who a true Mahaprabhu is? Where can we find a Mahaprabhu? We get questions like that. But at the same time, so when we listen to Katha and going through it, this is a Mahaprabhu telling you, giving you an update. So you can take on the same update, you can take on the teaching and apply it into your lives as well. Yeah? So think of it that way, that Bhagat Prahlad Ji are talking to you right today. Okay? So let's recap from last week quickly. So Bhagat Prahlad Ji are telling Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, by Balaji, by Mardana Ji, their Jivan Katha, they're telling them their story of how they started, what happened when they were younger. They're telling us everything, right? And they say to their Pitaji, Nanak, that Nanak is very powerful. Then now he's become so powerful that everyone's scared of him. Even the Devi Devti are scared of him because he's just been granted with so much power. Bhagavad Prahlad says to his father that Pidaji, leave what you're doing, don't do this, and don't go down this route. You will only get dukh, you will only get dukhi. You should do bhakti. And then Bhagavad Prahlad say, a Murak person will not understand what bhakti is. They're not going to understand what bhakti is, but that person who is a Murak will understand it, right? And I mentioned it last week that why is it so important? Because when I was actually recapping it myself earlier today, I remembered, so bhakti is that sense where you sit, right? You not necessarily sit in one place either, but you just remember Vaheguru all the time, and you constantly try and do Simran. You're constantly repeating Vaheguru's name. You're constantly calling out for Vaheguru. You're constantly doing that, constantly, yeah? Day and night. That's what bhakti is. That's a form of bhakti. So bhakti in that sense is repetition, repeating Vaheguru's name. And I remember speaking to a Christian years ago, and their concept of praying, we were talking about what praying is, what is praying? And then he said that, in Christianity, we don't believe in that where you repeat the same thing time and time again. They go, that doesn't make sense. He said that, yeah, it doesn't make sense to keep repeating the same thing again and again. And then I just trying to get understand what he was trying to say. That what do you mean? Not again? He goes, in our faith, we speak from our heart. Right? Whatever's in our heart. So at the end of the day, that's what Christians do, right? Before they go to sleep, they say, "Thank you, Lord, for this. Give me strength to do whatever." Right? They do speak from their heart. Christians do, right? Then I said to him, I go, "What you're saying is our ardas." Right, that's what we do. We do ardas, right? So in ardas, that's what we say as well. Right? We say whatever we want, whatever we feel like saying in the ardas. That's what we do. But before the ardas can even get accepted, we have to do the prayer part to it. We have to pray, and it's like. Then I remember giving this example. I remember hearing Katha years back. That example is this: that if you've got a cloth, your kapda, your top, your clothes are dirty, very dirty. If you wash it just once, it might not get clean. You might have to wash it twice, 3 times, 4 times before it gets actually clean, and then you put it on. That's like your mind. You're doing the part, repeating it, washing your mind, and then the ardas will be the acceptance. The ardas is putting that cloth on, right? That's how my Guru Sahib taught us. And then I was explaining that to him, in that sense. But then he wasn't getting bhakti. He just wasn't understanding what bhakti is. And the sad state of affairs. ਅਫਸੋਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ 'ਚ ਯੁਗਾ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰਕ that will say that you don't have to do Simran. That's like a parrot. You're just repeating it bar. That doesn't make sense. You get people like that. That say that bhakti you don't have to do that and sit here repeating the same thing. But what you have to do is understand what Guru Sahib you're telling us in Gurban and stuff like that. But it's really important. And Bhagavad Prahlad, you're telling us that Muraks will not understand what bhakti is. So they're saying to their Pitaji, their Harnakas. And then they say, Pitaji, then you won't fall into the cycle of life and death if you understand what bhakti is. And if you do bhakti, you won't fall into a cycle of life and death. Why don't you do bhakti or Vaheguru? You should focus on this and you should serve the sadhus. Another important thing is sadhu sangat ki seva karni, sadhuan di seva karni, Mahapurkhan di Singhs, Panj Singhan di seva karni. These are all important factors in Sikkim. And then they go, this world ocean is very deep, but with the kirpa of Vaheguru, you will sail across. He goes, and then they said that my father got so angry, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਰੋਧ ਆਇਆ ਹਰਨਾਕਸ ਨੂੰ, ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ, ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕੰਬਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ, ਗੁੱਸੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, he started to shake, and he looked very scary, ਬਹੁਤ ਡਰਾਉਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, and their eyes were bloodshot red, and he picked me up from his lap, and then he threw me across the room, and then he told the 2 teachers to grab me and gave the order to kill me. And then he shouted that I'm not his son. And then he said that I've got a disease, and before it spreads, we need to kill him. So in his mind, Anaka's mind, that whatever he's saying, oh jo manavicha e bimari hai. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj nu bhi aise hoya si, right? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, when they were young, at a young age, when they were just constantly doing Simran, what did their parents, the mother especially, say to do them? They got worried that that my son's got a bimari of some sort, right? Called the doctor, and then when the doctor came to check Maharaj, then Maharaj achar that bani that comes in Lehra Sahib, है ना? So obviously my I think it's that Pankti, but it comes in Lehra Sahib where Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj say that without Vaheguru, then I will get disease, but with Vaheguru I'm not diseased, है ना? But they're saying the same thing, that Harnakas thinks it's a disease. But that's where I left it. What's going to happen next? Let's find out. Let's do Ustat of Guru Sahib Ji. Let's praise Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj di Ustat karke, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj di Bani Rahi, through Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj's words. And we'll continue on this journey of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. ज्ञान ध्यान किछ कर्म न जाना सार न जाना तेरी साबते वड्डा सतगुर नानक जिन कर राखी मेरी साबते वड्डा सतगुर नानक जिन कर राखी मेरी. So Harnak starts shouting, Uchuchi gusse ch na uchuchi bolan lag gaya. He starts shouting that, kill my son, I don't care about him no more. My enemy is Vishnu, and my son wants to worship him. He's left his family and wants to do his puja. Hurry up and kill him. Sheti karo inu maar do, sheti dane. His servants heard this and they got up. And his servants were also dance, right? Demons, if you want to put it that way. Dance is someone that haven't got no morals whatsoever. They will do the most scariest things. They won't hesitate to do the thing that we would be scared to do. So these dance, the demons, his servants, they get up. They were scary. The case, that the way they've been described is that the case are all messy and their eyes are all red and they've got black marks all over their face. They look scary and they started to shout. All of them started to shout, "Uchi bunna lage farlo eno farlo, grab him and let's kill him. Eno maar diye, because our master is saying to kill him. Let's kill him." All of them grabbed their weapons straight away and then they tried to hit me with them. So Bhagavad Prahlad ji ਉਹ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਦੇ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰ ਫੜ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰਾਂ ਨਾਲ. But when they tried to hit me, but with Vaheguru's kirpa, not one weapon touched me. ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ. They couldn't even touch one hair on my body. ਵਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਿੰਗਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਮੇਰਾ. My father saw this happen. When my father saw this happen, then for a brief moment he got scared. ਉਹ ਕੰਬ ਗਿਆ. Just for a brief moment he saw this. And then he got scared, thinking, "Aki ho gaya? How is he? Not one var is hitting him. Not one shastra is touching my son. What's that thing protecting him?" Then my father saw this and he got scared. Then my father said, Harnaka said, "If he doesn't die like this, then find another way. Hor koi tarika labo na marna. Tie him up in front of an elephant and get the elephant to walk on him, or get snakes to bite him. And then if he still doesn't die, then try something else." फिर होर कुछ करो, बन के इन्हों हाथी मोरे रख दो, हाथी दे पैर थले उन्हों दे दो, जा सप्पा नाल उन्हों मार दो. The dance tried everything that Harnaka said, but with Vaheguru's kirpa, Vaheguru was protecting me and kuch nahi hoya mainu, nothing happened to me then. And then they said, and then when Vaheguru is protecting someone, no one can do anything to that person. If that Vaheguru's Maharaj has got that hat on your head, then no matter what anyone does, they cannot kill that person. Then they tied my body up really tightly. They tied me up and then they took me high up this mountain and then they threw me off. But fir bhi nahi kuch hoya. Nothing happened then as well because Vaheguru was protecting me. Then they tried to drown me. But nothing happened then as well. Vaheguru was protecting me. Mainu dubban di koshish kiti, par Vaheguru meri rakhya karde si. Then Harnaka's sister Holika, so my Pua, tried to kill me as well. And Okita Holika, Harnaka's sister, had this special shawl, if you want a blanket, that whoever was wrapped in that blanket would not get touched, affected by fire. So she said to her brother that if you want me to kill your son, I'll grab him, put him in my lap, I'll wrap myself in that blanket, I'll sit in the fire, and nothing will happen to me, but your son will get burnt. He goes, but when it came to doing that, when we came to sit in that, the wind blew so strong that the blanket flew off and flew onto me, and my pua got burnt instead. My pua got burnt alive. And then but nothing was working. Harnakas was now worried, and he became restless. Why has nothing worked? He doesn't die no matter what. And he goes, I said some bad stuff to my son, but it's not affecting him at all. his ta'ab is powerful too as well. His aura is really powerful as well. And he must have become my enemy now because I've said bad stuff to him, I've done some bad stuff to him. This is his mentality, right? So that paranoia was starting to set into his mind, in Nanak mind. He was paranoid that I said really bad stuff to my son, I've done really bad stuff to him as well, but he's not dying, now he's become my enemy. My own son has become my dushman. Nanak was thinking that he might be the one to kill me. He might somehow find a way that he could kill me. Thinking over and over, becoming stressed. He started becoming really stressed. When his servants seen him upset, then they said to him, "Now why are you worried? Why do you chinta karte kar rahe ho? You're so powerful that you just have to look at someone in a way and then you can just destroy them like that. You don't even have to lift a finger. You can just destroy them by just looking at them. He's only your son. He's only a child. Don't stress. Listen to us and we'll tell you what to do. What you have to do is you have to get this certain type of weapon that you can tie him up with. And you can tie anyone up with this weapon. We will keep him, after you tie him, we will keep him in our house until he gets old. And while all the years that are going to pass by, we will teach him and we will change his mindset. We will change his mentality. Then we will teach him properly. Nanak has heard this. He said to the servants, "Go and tie him up. Teach him whatever you said. Teach him everything. Teach him Rajniti, teach him politics, teach him everything about the world, but don't teach him about Mukti. Mukti bare nahi ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਧਰਮ ਬਾਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ." They grab Bhakt Prahlad Ji and then they start brainwashing him. So they start brainwashing him slowly. They're trying their best to teach him about the worldly affairs, how the world works and all that stuff. Bhakt Prahlad Ji continuing their story, and then they said that none of it affected me, however. जो कुछ भी वो कह रहे सी मेरे पे तो कोई असर नहीं होया, मैंने कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा. It didn't affect me in any way. I just let them carry on talking whatever they were talking about. When they used to leave me tied up and they used to go to their work to go and serve my father, their kids would come close to me. Their kids would come into the room that I was tied up in. Look at this. The story that he's actually telling about his whole life, and in so much detail. He said that the kids would come into the room where I was tied up, and then what I would start doing is I would start telling them about how to do bhakti, and then they started listening to me. ਉਹ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੰਨਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੈਨ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਆ ਕੇ ਜੋ ਕਮਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਸਨ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭਗਤੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਸੀ because ਬੱਚਾ ਹੈ, they're kids end of the day, you know. And then what they started to do is they started to focus on Simran. They started doing Simran. So these dance, these bad demons, these bad people, their kids started doing Simran. They would come every day and they would take Upadesh off me. And this is what a true Mahapurush is like. No matter who comes in front of them, no matter where they are, they will never leave, they will never stop what they're destined to do. They will never stop what they're designed to do, in a way. So a Mahapurush, no matter what happens. And the story, I think I've shared this story in front of, with the Friday night Sangat before in the past, but I'll share it for the sake of the live YouTube as well. But because there might be certain people who have not heard the Sakhi, but the Sakhi that comes to mind is Baba Thakur Singh Ji. Everyone knows by now that Baba Thakur Singh Ji, what they mean to me. But Baba Thakur Singh Ji, so everyone knows the attack happened on Darbar Sahib. When the Indian government attacked Darbar Sahib, Indira Gandhi got it all done. They blew up Akal Takht Sahib. After that was all over, Indira Gandhi, with the help of certain individuals from the Qawm, they tried to get it built again, the Akal Takht Sahib. So with the government money. Government when they tried to build it, they were building it. Baba Thakur Singh Ji and the Singhs got together and said, this is Galt Galla. They destroyed it and then they're going to build it again. We can't accept this. Right? So Baba Thakur Singh Ji, the whole Sikh Sangat got together and they decided that this seva should be given to Baba Thakur Singh Ji. So Baba Thakur Singh Ji took on the seva to make the Akal Takht Sahib again. So they got this really big seva to do. So there's a famous picture, there is a picture that you can see, but Baba Thakur Singh got a hammer, then they walked up to the first floor, and then they walked down to the balcony in front of the whole Sangat, and with the hammer, they broke the marble off that they had built with the Indian money, Indian government money. they broke the marble off, and then slowly they destroyed it all again, and then they rebuilt it. Baba Taka Singh Ji was and they would every day they would come from Mehte, they would probably some stay there. Mehte na door nahi hega from Amritsar. They would come there, and they would oversee the construction of Akal Takht Sahib. And then what happened was one day, because they were in charge of the construction of Akal Takht Sahib, the construction was going on. Then the Pradhan of SGPC, was, I forgot the name of the person now, who the Pradhan was. It was either Akali Dal Pradhan, the political party, or the Pradhan si, it was the SGPC Pradhan. It was one of them two, which I'm forgetting now what the name was. But anyway, he came, and he came to Baba Taka Singh Ji. When he walked up the stairs, Baba Taka Singh was sitting there on a manja, and there was a saint sitting on their right side, on a higher position than them, and they were doing Sukhmani Sahib Path. Baba Taka Singh was sitting there listening to Sukhmani Sahib Path. He came, and then the saints, he just came and stood there until Sukhmani Sahib Path finished. Baba Taka Singh didn't care who he was, didn't care who kaun he kaun nahi. Whereas Baki di dunya, everyone's witnessed it, right? Whenever any VIP banda or Jathedar comes into Darbar Sahib, any SGPC member, big high member, or the Kali Dal Pradhan comes into Darbar, what happens? Everyone starts running around them, Suruk pe mel de, times have changed, that's what we've gone, right? Baba Taka Singh couldn't care less who was standing in front of them. They said, Sukhmani Sahib Path finished ho jave. Sukhmani Sahib Path finished, and then they started then he spoke, and he goes, Baba Ji, sanu bhi koi seva do. That's what he said. He goes, give us some sort of seva to do as well, so we can be part of this as well. And then Baba Taka Singh Ji said, seva je karniya tusi, if you want to do seva, bani padya karo, simran karya karo. And then they said to saying, bani padla and that's all they said. That's all they said to them. And he said, just and they closed their eyes and then they walked off with the saints. And this is what they said, yeah. I'm getting annoyed that I don't remember the name now. But he said, while he walked back down the stairs, he said to the saint that I've met many Mahapurukhs in my life, but I've never met anyone like Baba Taka Singh Ji. They're just totally something else. But Gyan the Matlab, no matter who comes in front of them, they won't stop that. They won't change the way they are in front of, just because there's a certain individual in front of them. Even in Mehte, whenever MPs used to come from all the different parties used to come to Mehte, Baba Taka Singh couldn't care less. They used to say things that we don't care about them. Whereas in today's day and age, there might be certain individuals who jump on that chance. Let's do their seva or whatnot. Another one is no matter what position they're in, no matter where they are, they will tell people around them about Sikhi, about Vaheguru. So by Sukha, by Jinda, they come to mind. If you read their Jivan, while they were in prison, what happened was when they were in prison, they started telling everyone about Sikhi. They started spreading that message. They didn't care. There were hard criminals in there, but even they started changing their lives slowly. Again, it did Gursikh Hundaya, Mahaprabhu Hundaya. They change people around them. That's what they do. And they started to change their lives. Bhagavat Prahlad continue. Okay, the children of the dance, they started to change their lives, and they realized how to get mukti. They got rid of their hankar, and they started remembering Vaheguru day and night. Bhagavat Prahlad again, they said, remember Vaheguru day and night, and you will get all the sukh. Forget about this world. You'll get true sukh. And we've talked about this again in the Friday Night Sikhi time and time again. But it's very important that we remind ourselves, because we're so entangled in the world, we totally forget these kind of things. We totally forget, because we get so engrossed in our everyday lives, right? We only get this once a week, but it's probably enough, just about enough for us to keep on going. But they're saying, forget about this world. If you remember Vaheguru day and night, you will get that true sukh. As you do sukh, what's sukh? Sukh ta dukh. The opposite of sukh is dukh, right? Opposite of dukh is sukh. So we think is pain and pleasure, and happiness and sadness. That's what we associate it with. What true sukh is where that just would never finish. You won't ever get to that state where you'll get upset again. Did I say sukha? True sukh isn't getting becoming a millionaire or getting loads of money. Getting a wicked job, or what you did, they are important things. I'm not saying they're not important, but that's not what true sukh is. Oh, that's only temporary sukh. That's only temporary sukh in this world. I know if you want to put it that way. But yeah, what true sukh is if you want to give it to your children. If you really want your children to have true sukh and you want them to be truly happy, bless them with Sikhi, tell them about Sikhi, tell them to do part as they're growing up. Keep on telling them to do part. Bring them to the Gurudwara. Get Guru Sahib's darshan. That's what true sukh is. That's what you'll be doing. You're fulfilling your role as a parent if you do stuff like that. Bhakt Balaji can forget about this world. This life has been given to you to do Simran. Don't waste it on worldly things, right? Dedicate your life to Vaheguru until your last breath. This life can easily get wasted. Bhakt Balaji, that's what I said at the beginning. Bhagat Balaji are talking to us individually. They're talking to you. They're not talking to Bhai Balaji. They're talking to every one of us now, yeah? They say, dedicate your life to Vaheguru. So you want to update from a Mahaprabhu. Hey, Mahaprabhu no update den lagge sanu a bhagat is. They said, dedicate your life to Vaheguru until your last breath. This life can easily get wasted. Easily. And this next bit scared me. Because they said, imagine that you live to 100. You're going to live to 100. They said 50 years of that will go by in sleeping, just sleeping. 50 years of that have gone by in sleeping. 8 to 9 years will get wasted on your childhood. Then you become Jawan, then you'll get a bit old when you get to that marriage age. Then you dedicate time towards your wife and kids. Then you stress about work and making money, right? And then you become old and then you start losing all of your senses. All of that time wastes away. And then when I heard this, I just thought, wow, that's so scary. Initially, I thought 100 saal, right? You've got 100 years. 100 saal hai gaya. That's what Sadi mentality is. That 100 saal hai gaya. But in the truth is, you haven't got 100 years. Look how much has gone just doing nothing is getting wasted. That's why it's really important. I say to children, especially these are so lucky, these kids are, that they've got that understanding, from this age, that how important it is to do Simran. Simran, Bani, Parni, coming to the Gurdwara, doing all of this, because this will set their life up forever. For the rest of their life, they will be set, rather than going through any talk, because Maharaj is already got them set, right? But that's something to definitely contemplate on. Where are we in our lives? How much time has wasted by? If you think that you've got enough time left, then you're wrong. We're totally wrong. We've got so much time left, then we're totally wrong here. If we think, Bhagat Balaji are telling you, who lives till 100 now? Very rare that is, isn't it, that you live to 100. We don't know how long we're going to live for. But you need to live like that, that we haven't got that much time left. So whatever time we have got left, smash that with doing Seva, Simran, Sikhi, Prachar. Now, guys, it's very important that you understand that I don't mean leaving what you do with your work. That's all important. Right? But don't get so entangled in that you forget what we truly are here for. Like you're raising kids, all that. That's all. That's just supposed to happen. But what we totally forget what we're here for. But anyway, I thought Bhagat Prahlad, you're giving us this update that don't waste your time. Do it now. Don't think that I've got tomorrow, I've got that. Even start tonight. Whatever you want to make that change, just make it, right? They continue and they continue saying that you get stuck in more then. In that way, when you get Jawani, when you get married and you have kids, then you get stuck in more. Then you get stuck in attachment. And that's so true. We can all vouch, we can all agree with that when you get to that age, when you get married and you have kids, our life becomes about them. In and all that, we sometimes do forget that. We don't get time to do Simran, we don't get time to do Bani, coming to the Gurdwara. It becomes so much more harder to do. That's why as young age, try and smash as much as you can now, because that then however many years go by, it becomes so much more harder to do Amrit Vela, to do Part, to do all of that, right? It becomes so much more harder to do. But they say that you get stuck in more, you get stuck in attachment. And then they say without a true Guru, you can't get out of this web then. You can't get out of this. And Sangati, we have got that true Guru. We've got that true Guru Sahib, we have blessed us so much that they've given us that understanding, they've given us that mentality, they've given us that knowledge that who your true Guru is. Our true Guru is Tana Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, Tana Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Tana Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj downstairs. They're our true Guru. No other fake Guru can do what our Guru does and blesses the way Guru Sahib Ji blesses with. And look at that. If you don't grab onto a true Guru, you can't get out of that cycle of life and death. You will stay stuck in more. You'll stay and look at how what the world's going towards. They're coming away from Dharam. Dharam to dur ho rahe ne, and the cases of depression, anxiety are going through the roof. Right? They're going through the roof because of things like this that they're coming away. First thing that doctors or a therapist will say to someone who's going through depression is meditation. Do meditation. That helps a lot in depression. Do meditation. Guru Sahib ne sanu ditta hoya simran kariya karo. This one of the other things that they say is try and help out others because they make you feel better. What's that? Seva kariya karo phir. Do seva and make yourself feel better. Right? Maharaj is giving it all, but we're coming away from that. We're going to finish there for today, and we'll continue this next week. Bajto is a brilliant place to finish off, where we're leaving on that we've got a true Guru, and we should be thankful to Guru Sahib. So we'll continue that next week, in the same way, same time. So we'll move on to Q&As. Has anyone got any questions about the Sakhi, about this, or anything generally to do with Sikhi? Has anyone got any questions in their mind that they would like to ask, that we can discuss it? Cool. If not, then we'll call it a day. We'll do a little bit of Simran, because even Bhagavad Pralaji Sanu keh rahe hain how important Bhakti is, how important it is to remember Vaheguru. And we'll do Usta Tabur, the Guru Sahib Ji's, and we'll call it a day then. Yeah? So when we're doing Simran, try and focus on the sound that's coming from within you. Do it just loud enough that you can actually hear your voice. Don't do it so slowly that you can't hear it. These are little techniques that I heard in Katha that help when you do Simran, because I've had this question in your mind in the past as well. When you're doing Simran, I can't focus. How are you supposed to do it? These are just little techniques that you can use. And then when he listened to Katha once, Gyani Kulwant Singh was saying that when that awaj comes from within you, that's coming from inside you, that is the Atma that's within you, right? That's the soul, that's the Vaheguru, because we also say Vaheguru is within everyone. Vaheguru is in you. You don't have to look from outside where Vaheguru is in you. So when you're saying Vaheguru, that's Vaheguru saying it, right? And then when I heard that, I was like mind blown. That's it down. And then if you do it like that, rather than just being a bit like Vaheguru, like that, right? So let's focus on it just for a couple of minutes, and we'll do Guru Sahib, and then we'll call it a day, yeah? Vaheguru, 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 ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਜਪੋ
ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ
ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ
ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ
ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ
ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ
ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ
ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ
ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ
ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ
ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰਾਏ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਤੇਰਾ ਪੰਥ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ ਧਨ ਹੈ